Hello, Jambo Karibu. Jambo Karibu simply means hello and welcome in Swahili. My name is Dr. Ruth Tutamo Akumbo. I will be your professor for HEDL 610, History of Higher Education. All right, so I am excited that you'll be joining me or that I'll be joining you in this course. It is a very exciting course, and history is a very important part of our society and our culture and the education uh, department in general, or the education sector in general. So I want to just say how excited I am that I get to teach this class. I loved history a lot growing up and I enjoy reading it on my own. That was my favorite subject throughout high school. So teaching a course that has to do with history is super exciting for me. I hope you are also excited, as this is a foundational class for you, and your your role in the institution will be enhanced by what you learn from this class. I want to encourage you to reflect on the things that you learn, contextualize the things that you learn in your own institution. If you're not at a higher ed, if you do not work in higher ed, look at ways that the institution in which you're in right now, which is Bushnell, look at how Bushnell, look at how you can contextualize the knowledge that you are gaining in that local setting in which you find yourself. So don't feel like you're being left out because you're not an employee of an institution of higher education. So this class, like I mentioned, is very important as our world is constantly changing. History is a lens by which we can look at past events, present event, and even try to predict what future events can be. So history is one of those things that affects us socially, historically, culturally, economically. So these are all factors. These are all factors, even though it's like history and is affecting us historically, because it does leave things that will impact our future. So even though we think sometimes we can look at history as something of the past and it needs to stay in the past, it is not always the case, because what's happening in the past is going to, it affects our present. What happened in the past affects our present, and what is happening in our present is going to be a historical fact that is going to affect our future. So let's dive in with this whole mindset, knowing that the things that we learn in this class have the potential to make a big difference in the environments in which we will find ourselves working, especially for those of us that are in higher education and for those of you that are in a higher education administration. So I want to encourage you to contact me if you're struggling with anything. Uh, I can be reached no more than 48 hours from the time you email me. And if that becomes the case where you don't hear from me within 48 hours, please make sure that you call my phone. Call the number that I have provided is my cell phone. Do call it or do text it so that I know that you have an emergency that needs to be addressed right away. But please only do so in cases of emergency. Now, who am I? I'm so excited about the course. I just kept talking about the course and I haven't really given you a little bit much about my background. So who am I? I am a native of Cameroon. I was born and raised in Cameroon. I have lived in the United States for over 20 years. I have been in education now for about a year and a half. And a bit prior to that, I was working as a research assistant. with Pepperdine University, where I graduated with my PhD in global leadership and change. So you are going to definitely experience a little bit of my global mindset just by starting with the greetings jumbo. I'm letting you see a global mindset, and I experience a little bit of my culture just through a couple of words, right? So you might be able to experience more of a global mindset from me. How are the things we're learning, how does it impact even a global worldview? How the events that are happening today, not just locally in the United States, but globally, can impact higher education. So things like international students and things like that, how does that impact international students? So I enjoy global leadership, and I like the study of it because it helps me really know the world better and understand the world better. Another thing about me, I run a nonprofit called Plant the Seed Africa. That name might change soon, but for now it's called Plant the Seed Africa. We've been around for over 20 years, and we work in Cameroon, Kenya, and the United States. We've done a lot of good work. You can look at our website if you really want to. It's www.planttheseedafrica.org. This is not a promotion. This is me giving you a little bit of an overview of what I have been doing, what my experiences are that might enhance your learning and your experience through this class. I've also worked in the entertainment industry for about 17 years. I worked as a background actor, stand-in actor, and also did some producing, not a lot, but some producing. So you could also find a little bit of that on IMDb if you are somebody that knows and cares about entertainment related things. So that's a little bit about me. That's a little bit about me. If you have any questions, please do ask. I like to consider myself an open book. I do have a podcast. You could also listen to some of the things that I talk about, which are usually related around culture and diversity. So that's me. That's me. I'm looking forward to knowing more about you and working with you throughout, facilitating your learning as your professor, as your mentor, as your cheerleader, as you go through this program. Yes, welcome again into the program or into my classroom, and excited for this journey together. All right, talk soon.